Animation based on satellite data shows Southern California is actually breathing water, quote unquote. This is by Robert Perkins' California Institute of Technology article. Seasonal ground deformation is taking place in Southern California. You've got to see the GIF on this. It's unbelievable. It's just like a heartbeat. The whole of Southern California goes up and down as it's quote unquote breathing water. Seasonal ground deformation. The ground rises and falls as water is pumped in and out of reservoirs, as measured in a study that could impact how municipalities manage this crucial resource. Using an unprecedented number of satellite radar images, geophysicists at Caltech have tracked how the ground in Southern California rises and falls as groundwater is pumped in and out of aquifers beneath the surface. Their findings are presented in a study that tracks deformation of the Earth's surface over an 18-year period. The work can be used by water management districts to assess the precise shape and size of aquifers and the impact of the region's water use on those aquifers. The work also reveals what could be a previously unmapped fault, a new fault unmapped running across the northeast Orange County. Quote, what we see through the rising and falling of the ground surface is the elastic response of the land to regular changes in groundwater levels, end quote, says lead author Brian Real, who was a graduate student in the lab of Caltech's Mark Simmons at the time of the research. He's now a signal analysis engineer at JPL, which is managed by Caltech for NASA. Quote, because we have data over a long period of time, we were also able to isolate long-term surface deformation signals, including subsidence of the land that seems to be caused by compaction of clay layers in response to background variations in groundwater withdrawal, end quote. Real and Simmons were also able to see sharp features where water was not flowing, which could indicate boundaries of aquifers as well as faults. The study, which was published online on April 30th by the journal Water Resources Research, uses publicly available radar data captured between 1992 and 2011 by European Space Agency satellites. The satellite data was compiled into 881 radar interferograms, images created by bouncing radar signals off the Earth's surface to track nearly vertical ground motion down to the millimeter with a horizontal resolution of tens of meters over an area that stretches from San Fernando, northwest of downtown Los Angeles, down to Irvine in Orange County. When all the images are stitched together, they show the ground beneath Southern California rising and falling annually like a giant breathing in and out. The results were checked against GPS measurements taken by the Orange County Water District, OCWD, and the Water Replenishment District of Southern California, which corroborated the findings. The periodic rising and falling of the ground tells the story of the management of Southern California's aquifers and how that management has changed over time, says Simmons, the John W. and Herberta M. Miles Professor of Geophysics at Caltech and JPL Chief Scientist. Quote, at the beginning of the study period, we see big sinusoids, rather high and lower lows, higher highs and lower lows. Towards the later half of the study, that flattened out a bit, indicating that water control districts were more actively managing aquifers and making sure to put water back into them instead of just taking it out, Simmons said. Roy Herndon, chief hydrogeologist of the OCWD, says that his team works to make sure the ground never sinks too far, a development for which it might never recover. Quote, "We suspect that the geology of our base might allow subsidence to occur if we allow too much groundwater to be pumped out but never refill it. We have clays and silts that can compress and compact with time," end quote, Herndon says. That strategy is codified in the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, SGMA, signed into law by California Governor Jerry Brown in 2014, which dictates that groundwater management needs to avoid permanent lowering of the ground level. The phenomenon has plagued the San Joaquin Valley of Central California for generations. Soil compaction driven by a shrinking water table has caused the ground in the area to subside as much as 28 feet, according to the United States Geological Survey, USGS. Harrington says that the study by Real and Simmons and co-authors and other surveys like it will help water districts make sure that their water management strategies are effective at avoiding such soil compaction in California. While the rising and the falling of the ground was to be expected, the radar data also shows some unexpected features, Simmons says, including a sharp boundary at the edge of an aquifer, which could indicate a buried fault along the eastern edge of the basin where the Santa Ana River passes through the Santa Ana Garden Grove area. In addition, the map reveals a small area with anomalously large ground level uplift that turned out to be caused by petroleum operations pumping oil out and water in. Real, Simmons, and co-authors relied upon data from ESA satellite, that's the European satellite. Meanwhile, JPL, NASA, and the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, are planning to launch a new radar satellite called NISAR, N-I-S-A-R, in early 2022 that will provide observations from 2 directions every 12 days, providing higher quality, high resolution data than have previously been available. Simmons says, quote, "With that kind of data, we'll be able to paint an even clearer picture that could reveal even more about the ground beneath our feet," end quote. The study is titled, quote, "Quantifying Ground Deformation in the Los Angeles and Santa Ana Coastal Basins Due to Groundwater Withdrawal," end quote. This is on physics.org, and I'll leave a link below for you for this. Kindly support by contributing to my Patreon account. You'll find it in the description box below. Thank you.